Hey guys, it's Divine from merch.com. I keep getting a lot of questions about why party ads keep rising and why level 80 and 90 gear keeps crashing. So far I haven't made a video about it because it seemed really obvious, but since a lot of people keep asking, here it is. Just a slight warning in advance, this video is not very optimistic about the situation, but I guess you could have seen that one coming. So I'm pretty sure every merchant has noticed these major shifts in the RC economy over the past months, and the reason for all of it is very simple. The amount of bots in-game has been increasing drastically since last summer. I made a video about it then where the JMod responsible for bot banning was dismissing the return of bots and kept comparing it to the numbers of when botting was at its worst. Now the results of his ignorance are clearly showing, with prices of a lot of resources crashing, discontinued items and treasure trial items rising, and then you also have the high level gear crashing, all because of bots. Let me explain. First off, resources. People are asking me why nature ruins are crashing, for example. So I did some rocket science to figure this out and stood next to the Karamia load zone for just a few minutes. As you can see, on just one world we've got a handful of bots with over 80 runecrafting passing by in a few minutes time. That's just one out of dozens of worlds. Reporting them is pretty pointless, as I saw these bots earlier this week when I was doing a clue, and even if they get banned, they get replaced by others in no time. The problem needs to be solved at the source. Then let's take a look at this clue I had to do in Taverley Dungeon, which they may as well rename to Bot Dungeon, as we've got bots at Black Dragons, Black Demons, Blue Dragons, and even Chaos Druids. For months now they've been getting more sophisticated as well by trading other skills in between banking trips to look like real players, or they turn their privacy off so players can't spy their stats and then report them in game. And then we've also got the Chaos Tunnels, where I had another clue. I came across bots at Green Dragons, Bronze Dragons, Black Demons, Red Spider Egg Collection bots, and so on. When I was in the desert once, I even came across bots killing goats for their horns, so as you can tell, they are everywhere. It's really getting bad, and it really doesn't take much effort to find them either. Just sit next to any load zone and you'll see a bunch of them pass by. All of these extra resources coming into the game is what is making rare items rise. This works in multiple ways. First off, you got people who have to spend less money on scaling because the resources crash so much. Then the money they save goes to rares, or they lose it to merchants who spend it on rares. So let's say you had to pay 200 mil for 99 per year in the past. If that is 100 mil now, you can use that 100 mil you save on something else. And it's also potentially money that merchants may take from you bit by bit through flips or investments. So if you instant buy a weapon, then you're sort of donating a little bit of cash to a merchant. Then secondly, you've got all of the drops that eventually end up being alked, which spawns lots of gold into the game every single day. And then thirdly and finally, RSGP is becoming cheaper to buy, which means people can get more gold for the same money. As bonds keep rising now due to all the promotions and the increased membership prices, it becomes more attractive for players to buy RuneScape GP instead of buying bonds. All of these things result eventually in merchants becoming richer, which means they can buy more rare items, pushing those up in price. With a lot of gear crashing, it also narrows their merchanting options down, which means more people focus on the same few items. In the past there were always dozens of amazing items to flip or invest in, but with so many items crashing there is a lot more risk involved, as your success depends a lot more on Jagex versus bots, instead of on predictable player behavior, which is kind of what merchanting is very much about. Now you may think, I get the other two, but what does an increase in bots have to do with high level gear crashing? It's not like they're botting at bosses. Also, if there's more gold in game, shouldn't these weapons and armor be rising in price then? Now they're crashing because more people are focusing on PVM with every passing day. Bots have made it very hard to get a lot of profit from scaling, and the game has changed in such a way that there are dozens of faster training methods for pretty much every skill. So people make cash from PVM and then spend it on these faster training methods instead of earning their money through scaling methods. Now with everyone doing PVM, there is a massive oversupply of gear coming into the game. Without many new players in RuneScape, there is nobody to buy these items at decent prices, which is why we're seeing so many price crashes and so many low valued items at the moment. There's also no risk involved in PVM anymore, as nobody ever loses these items, so this is a never ending cycle until Jagex breaks it and starts to look at how items leave the game. Now the recent level 85 weapons are a step in the right direction, but unfortunately there are a lot more players bringing in whips, dark bows and stays of light than there are people who use the level 85 weapons, which also means that that doesn't really have any effect. And on top of that, level 90 weapons are also really cheap, so there's just not that much of an incentive to use a level 85 weapon. Now next month we've got World Event 3 coming up, after that Adamant and Rune Dragons, and then some PvP updates. And despite that being really interesting content, none of it's going to change anything about the situation in the long run. I suppose it's easier to stop caring about all of this and just play the game how you want to, but it's just a bit sad to see those things happen when we've all invested a lot of time into the game. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about the price changes. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you back next weekend for another video.